It is a nice, beautiful, sunny morning.
Yeah, I'll explain everything to you. Step out, I'll explain everything to you. Whoa, drop your ladder. There you go. Shut your door for me real quick. Alright, step over here to the front of the car. Let me explain everything to you.
Hello. I'm trying to have my roommate tonight, so I'm not home.
I got you. I understand. Yeah, you definitely should drive down the road if you don't want to be feeling that. So have a seat right there. The reason I got you out of the car is I have a narcotics detection here. I'm going to run my dog around your car as part of this traffic stop. He's requested me to do that. So I had you roll the windows up so the dogs don't interfere with each other. Bleiben. 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 Sorry.
213 at 342.
Yes. Man. Load. Alright, so I'm not saying there's anything in there right now. I'll tell you the way this works, okay? When was the last time anybody has used narcotics in their vehicle? Or had narcotics in their vehicle?
Nobody.
So I'm gonna search the car, there's not gonna be shade, there's not gonna be...
You're not searching my car.
I am searching your car, my dog learned another car. Probably gotta search your car. So...
No, he did not.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Sir, you cannot search my
If
vehicle.
you start arguing and interfering, you're gonna...
I can tell you,
No.
you cannot search my vehicle. No, what's your problem cause?
My dog learned it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Are you looking at it?
No, he
Stop,
doesn't.
stop. Hey, Haley. Miss Banks, so you know the difference, Haley?
You know, I'm not gonna say it, you're not getting it.
You're not searching my vehicle.
Can you get your
There's no probable
Stop,
cause.
stop. Can you get your dog out of the car for me? Yes, no, maybe, why not?
Can I speak to your supervisor?
Can you get the dog out of the car for me?
I try to speak to your supervisor.
Oh, let me explain one thing to you, ma'am. You are not in charge here, okay? Can you please get your dog out so I don't have to...
We're gonna call animal control if you don't get called.
I don't want to hurt the dog. I have my own, I don't want to hurt your dog. Can you please get the dog out for me?
You can grab some gloves. Sure.
And when your dog is done doing doggy stuff, can I please have you come back to my vehicle?
How did the dogs alert the vehicle? That's what I'm wondering. I thought the dog barks when.
So just like how people are different from each other, every dog is different. All right. I've seen dogs bark. I've seen dogs sit down. I've seen dogs just stare and point with their nose. I'm not that dog's handler, so I can't tell you what that dog's alert is. But apparently he alerted. Okay.
You pulled me over for a brake light.
Tell like.
Okay, but that's what you pulled me over for.
Correct.
So how does this have to do with a tail light?
Well, his dog did a free air sniff and alerted to the presence of narcotics to your vehicle. If there's no narcotics in it, you have nothing to worry about.
I'm just asking, like, I'm just saying. I just want to understand how that has to do with having a tail light.
While I was doing my traffic stop, dog did a free air sniff.
What was your reason for bringing the dog out?
I do it whenever I pull people out, and I feel like I need to.
There's no reason for you to have to pull a dog out and search my freaking vehicle.
Okay, like I said, if there's no narcotics in there, then you have nothing to worry about.
Just do whatever you want if you're an officer. You pulled me over for a tail light.
I did pull you over for a tail light. Yeah, that's correct.
I'm not worried about it, but just pull me over for a tail light. And that's
Okay.
what I'm irritated about. Call. I'm studying dog.
Miss, I need you to stay over here. I need you to stay right here. We'll pull it back over here.
That no probable cause of bringing the dog out and searching my vehicle.
I don't need problem cause to have the dog come out.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I had an officer in my vehicle.
Yourself, we can run a dog around any vehicle we want to as long as it's part of traffic stop. We don't have to have a probable cause for that.
13, female.
34. Can you get my cigarettes?
No, not right now.
You get my cigarettes?
Yeah, in a minute.
Why in a minute? I want to know.
Excuse me. Can I get you go to the front, please?
Pulling me.
Well, someone's asking an interesting question. They were talking about why wouldn't people be so willing to let them do their job? Yeah, sniffing. You should appreciate knowing the drug problems we have here in our country and how many people are dying every day of overdoses, or teenagers, innocent people. I mean, right, I mean, you have a lot of those overdoses are murders, if you understand what we're talking about. Right. So you should be, yeah, please. It's nice to know you guys are right on this stuff. Right, so if you have drugs in the car, then okay. I know that's just normal, right? Everybody does drugs. What are you talking about? It's insane. It's so insane. Their mindsets, it's weird. Right, so someone was talking about, yeah, how what if, though the drugs really weren't yours, like some of the setups in the past where people will put drugs in someone's car and then think it's funny when they get arrested on drug charges. Yeah, I mean, that's happened. But I mean, a lot of times they'll usually do it to people that are looking at, you know, that's going to be a strike that gets them put away for a while. Yeah, I mean, if it's someone that doesn't do drugs and they're going to be totally shocked and, right, I mean, sometimes, you know, when they do testing, I know drugs in the person's system, saying they don't know where they came from. I mean, a lot of times they still take the charge 'cause it's in their car, and I mean, they can't really prove otherwise. Yeah, if they don't have anything on the record, it's not too big of a deal. They pay the fine or whatever it is. No, it's another business. Yeah, remember back in the day, and then they kind of whitewashed it like a lot of other things, and people were putting out jokes about how cops were sprinkling crack on black people. Yeah, it became a pretty popular joke. I think it hit one of the big stages. Oh, it's amazing how it starts out. I know sometimes it doesn't change that much at all. It ain't changed a bit. Sometimes it's like, wow, what the hell happened to that? That's not how that started out at all. That was not the original purpose of trying to bring attention to that, but yeah, go ahead, jump on all the drama and people offended. So stupid. So someone's asking, how come they have these new devices, yeah, you don't even need a dog? Right, well see, the dog is sniffing the outside of the car. See, one of those devices, that would be more for, like, inside of the car. Right, so why would someone want to get that? Yeah, you never know. Someone might be trying to set you up, sprinkle some crack on you. Yeah, there's these devices, they can sniff the air, so to speak, sniff. Yeah, it's a device that sniffs the air, and it can detect narcotics and things like that. What are they called? I don't know. Let's look it up. You can use specialized scent detection devices and trace detectors to test for narcotics in spaces. However, the type of device you use dictates whether it can detect stuff that's airborne vapors or the physical residue left on objects. So it's two separate devices. Do they have hybrid ones? I'm sure, yeah. These devices are designed to sniff the air or filter ventilation to detect trace volatile organic compounds emitted by illicit substances. It's a specialized handheld trace detector similar to those used at airports or TSA checkpoints. It can pull air samples and identify major classes of drugs, cocaine, opiates, amphetamines within seconds. Emerging electronic nose, some call it. AI-based microchips also exist, though these are typically commercial grade units costing thousands of dollars. Right, I mean, when that stuff too, a lot of it in the testing phase, right? They test it out on volunteers, a lot of times people on probation, yeah, a whole host of things when you go back through the years and you see how that's already been done and working with other things. Right, and then when it becomes popularized and they want electrode implants for their wrinkles. Oh, it can give me an orgasm. Ooh, can it make me happy? Jump my heart. Where's my joy button? Right. And so then people get upset as though, like, the ones in the early testing phases, right? Because they get it for free, right? I mean, pretty much. Well, I mean, is there any price to pay? Some pay with their lives. They're volunteers. They sign paperwork. Yeah, that happens quite a bit with these things. Am I lying? No, well, it's just common knowledge. It's mad laughter, dude. We are in a state of mad laughter. We told you that. We're totally good, though. Don't worry. No, we're happy. We're having some water. Probably going to make another tea in a little bit. We're on a tea kick this morning. Sometimes we like to have coffee or cocoa. Ooh, cocoa sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, see, they're not okay. Oh, they're not, and they got a problem. Yeah, so hopefully, yeah, a lot of people have already realized that, and they go, ah. Yeah, they're fucking psychotic. We're trying to help our children in the hands of sick murderers, pedophiles. These are facts. These are fucking facts. People that like to fucking torture little kids. It's not a joke. People need to wake the fuck up and report what's going on around here. Anyways, they're best used for screening rooms, vehicles, containers. A lot of people like to have them. Yeah, for some it's just FYI. Sometimes they won't even tell you. Every time you get out of their car. My electronic nose sniffs cocaine every time they come over. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to invite that person over anymore. And you don't say anything, right? It's like not going back to that restaurant. Or, you don't tip maybe a waitress or a waiter because they were rude. You don't tell them, you know what, I'm giving you less of a tip because I just didn't really care for your service. You didn't even crack a smile. No, I felt like I was impeding upon your day, excuse me. So sorry to bother you. Right, no, you just don't tip them. I mean, you give the place another chance. It's not as though... And you've been there before and you've gotten good service, so you're not going to judge the place just based off of that. You're not going to tip that person as well as you might of the others, and you're just not going to say anything, right? Right, maybe you'll go back another time and get the same waiter or waitress and totally opposite experience. They're in a really good mood. They're smiling. Come to find that day they were being rude. Their dog had died. Yeah, it wasn't you. Well, no harm, no foul. They just got less of a tip and... I'll have some lemon water, please. A lot of restaurants charge $4.99 for a cup of tea. A cup of tea, $4.99. What, you want an electronic nose? You didn't know those existed? Yeah. They have really, the way they've upgraded them, it's amazing. They have, some are remote controlled. You can control them right from your phone. Right, and I mean, you can call it what you want to call it, I guess. No, I'm not gonna say. I know I was almost gonna say it, but I didn't. You almost got me. That's a good idea. I'm not saying that. I have boundaries. Oh my goodness. It don't matter anymore. All I needed was a friend like you. Original That's so weird. I just think you could feel it going after that. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like the different tracks, and then when it hits on those corners. That's so weird. Neat. Thank you. You're welcome. Are you reading with us? What? You finished both the books already? We're gonna finish the first part. Writers of Modern America. You finished both books? Yeah. Ooh. Nice. Hello. Yes, good morning. It was really nice. Alright, see if I can find the spot we left off here. Alright, we'll start there, yeah? Where it says, "Look here," said Miss Lex, leading me to the rail. That's about where we left off. It's only repeating a little bit. Yes. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. That's right, in the direct sunlight there, it's kind of warm, so I don't know if I should leave it there too long. It's over here. It's not in the direct sunlight, but then the view for you. I'll just put it like that. "Look here," said Miss Lex, leading me to the rail and pointing downward. "Do you see that boat there? It has been let down and there is nobody in it. The boat on the other side has just gone off, full to the brim. I never saw so many people crowded into a boat. The other ones will be just as packed, I expect.
I don't see why we shouldn't take this empty boat. Now, we've got a chance, instead of squeezing ourselves into those crowded ones. If any of the other people come afterward, why, we shall have our choice of seats, and that's considerable of a point, I should say, in a time like this. That's so, said Miss Alsheen, and me and Miss Lex would have got right in when we saw the boat was empty if we hadn't been afraid to be there without any man, for it might have floated off, and neither of us don't know nothing about rowing. And then Miss Lex, she thought of you, supposin' a young man who knew so much about the sea would know how to row. Oh, yes, said I, but I cannot imagine why this boat should have been left empty. I see a keg of water in it, and the oars, and some tin cans, and so I suppose it has been made ready for somebody. Will you wait here a minute until I run forward and see how things are going on there? Amidships and forward, I saw that there was something confusing among the people who were not yet in their boats, and I found that there was to be rather more crowding than at first was expected. People who had supposed that they were to go in a certain boat found there was no place, and they were hurrying to other boats. It now became plain to me that no time should be lost in getting into the small boat which Miss Lex had pointed out, and which was probably reserved for some favored persons, as the officers were keeping the people forward and amidships, the other stern boat having already departed. But as I acknowledge no reason why anyone should be regarded with more favor than myself and the two women who were waiting for me, I slipped quietly aft and joined Miss Lex and Miss Alsheen. We must get in as soon as we can, said I in a low voice, for this boat may be discovered and then there will be a rush for it. I suspect it may have been reserved for the captain and some of the officers, but we have as much right in it as they. And more too, replied Miss Lex, for we had nothing to do with the steering and smashing. But how are we going to get down there? Said Miss Alsheen. There's no steps. That is true, said I. I shouldn't wonder if this boat is to be taken forward when the others are filled. We must scramble down as well as we can by the tackle at the bow and stern. I'll get in first and keep her close to the ship's side. Then that's going to be a scratchy business, said Miss Lex. And I'm of the opinion we ought to wait till the ship has sunk a little more so we'll be nearer to the boat. It won't do to wait, said I, or we shall not get in at all. And goodness gracious, exclaimed Miss Alsheen, I can't stand here and feel the ship sinking, cold-blooded under me, till we got where we can make any easy jump. Till we get where we can... I'll restart that sentence. And goodness gracious, exclaimed Miss Alsheen, I can't stand here and feel the ship sinking, cold-blooded under me, till we've got where we can make an easy jump. Very well then, said Miss Lex. We won't wait. But the first thing to be done is for each of us to put on one of these life preservers. 2 of them I brought from Miss Alsheen's in my cabin, and the other I got next door, where the people had got off and left it on the floor. I thought if anything happened on the way to the island, these would give us a chance to look about us, but it seems to me we'll need 'em more getting down. Them ropes than anything else. I did intend putting on 2 myself to make up for Miss Alsheen's fact. But you must wear one of them, sir, now that you are going to join the party, as I knew that 2 life preservers would not be needed by Miss Lex and would greatly inconvenience her. I accepted the one offered me, but declined to put it on until it should be necessary, as it would interfere with my movements. Very well, said Miss Lex, if you think you are safe in getting down without it. But Miss Alsheen and me will put on ours before we begin sailor scrambling. We know how to do it, for we tried 'em on soon after we started from San Francisco. And now, Barbary Alsheen, you are sure you've got everything you want? For I'll be no use thinking about anything you've forgot after the ship has sunk out of sight. There's nothing else I can think of, said Miss Alsheen, at least nothing I can carry, and so I suppose we may as well begin. For your talk of the ship sinking under our feet gives me a sort of feeling like an oyster creeping up and down my back. Miss Lex looked over the side of the boat, into which I had already descended. I'll go first, Barbary Alsheen, said he, and show you how. The sea was quiet, and the steamer had already sunk so much that Miss Lex's voice sounded frightfully near me, although she spoke in a low tone. Watch me, she said to her companion. I'm going to do just as he did, and you must follow in the same way. So saying, she stepped on a bench by the rail. Then, with one foot on the rail itself, she seized the ropes which hung from one of the davits to the bow of the boat. She looked down for a moment, and then she drew back. It's no use, she said. We must wait until she sinks more, and I can't get it easier. This remark made me feel nervous. I did not know at what moment there might be a rush for this boat, nor when indeed the steamer might go down. The boat amidship on our side had rowed away some minutes before, and through the darkness I could distinguish another boat near the bows, pushing off. It would be too late for us to try to get into any other boat, and I did not feel that there was time enough for me to take this one to a place where the 2 women could more easily descend to her. Standing upright, I urged them not to delay. You see, said I can reach you as soon as you swing yourself off the ropes, and I'll help you down. If you're sure you can keep us from coming down too sudden, we'll try it, said Miss Lex. But I'd as soon be drawn as to get to an island with a broken leg. And as to Miss Alsheen, if she was to slip, she'd go slam through the boat to the bottom of the sea. Now then, be ready, I'm coming down. So saying, she swung herself off, and she was then so near to me that I was able to seize her and make the rest of her descent comparatively easy. Miss Alsheen proved to be a more difficult subject. Even after I had a firm grasp of her capacious waist, she refused to let go of the ropes for fear that she might drop into the ocean instead of the boat. But the reproaches of Miss Lex and the drowned weight of myself made her loosen her nervous grip. And although we came very near going overboard together, I safely placed her on one of the thwarts.
I'm going to turn next because the sun there is overheating.
I now unhooked the tackle from the stern, but before casting off at the bow, I hesitated, for I did not wish to desert any of those who might be expecting to embark in this boat. But I could hear no approaching footsteps, and from my position, close to the side of the steamer, I could see nothing. Therefore I cast off, and taking the oars, I pushed away and rowed to a little distance, where I could get whatever view was possible of the deck and of the steamer. Seeing no forms moving about, I called out, and receiving no answer, I shouted again at the top of my voice, I waited for nearly a minute, and hearing nothing and seeing nothing, I became convinced that no one was left on the vessel. "They're all gone. They are all gone," said I, "and we will pull after them as fast as we can." And I began to row toward the boat and the steamer in the direction which the other boats had taken. "It's a good thing you could row," said Miss Lex, settling herself comfortably in the stern sheets. "For what Miss Alsheen and me would have done with them oars, I'm sure I don't know." "I'd never have got into this boat," said Miss Alsheen, "if Mr. Craig hadn't been here." "No, indeed," replied her friend. "Yet I had to go to the bottom, hanging on for dear life to them ropes." When I had rounded the bow of the steamer, which appeared to me to be rapidly settling in the water, I perceived at no great distance several lights, which of course belonged to the other boats, and I rowed as hard as I could, hoping to catch up with them, or at least to keep sufficiently near. It might be my duty to take off some of the people who had crowded into the other boats, probably supposing that this one had been loaded and gone. How such a mistake could have taken place I could not divine, and it was not my business to do so. Quite certain that no one was left on the sinking steamer, all I had to do was to row after the other boats, and to overtake them as soon as possible. I thought it would not take me very long to do this, but after rowing for half an hour, Miss Alsheen remarked that the lights seemed as far off as, if not farther than, when we first started after them. Turning, I saw that this was the case, and was greatly surprised. With only 2 passengers, I ought soon to have come up with those heavily laden boats, but after I had thought over it a little bit, I considered that as each of them was probably pulled by half a dozen strout sailors, it was not so very strange that they should make as good or better headway than I did. It was not very long after this that Miss Lex said that she thought the lights on the other boats must be going out, and that this, most probably, was due to the fact that the sailors had forgotten to fill their lanterns before they started. That sort of thing often happens, she said, when people leave a place in a hurry. But when I turned around and peered over the dark waters, it was quite plain to me that it was not want of oil, but increased distance, which made those lights so dim. I could now perceive but 3 of them, and as the surface was agated only by a gentle swell, I could not suppose that any of them were hidden from our view by waves. We were being left behind, that was certain, and all I could do was to row as long and as well as I could in the direction. I could not suppose that any of them were hidden from our view by waves. We were being left behind, that was certain, and all I could do was to row on as long and as well as I could in the direction which the other boats had taken. I had been used to rowing, and thought I pulled a good oar, and I certainly did not expect to be left behind in this way. I don't believe this boat has been emptied out. I don't believe that this boat has been emptied out since the last rain, said Miss Alsheen. For my feet are wet, though I didn't notice it before. At this, I shipped my oars and began to examine the boat. The bottom was covered with a movable floor of slats, and as I put my hand down, I could feel the water welling up between the slats. The flooring was in sections, and lifting the one beneath me, I felt under it and put my hand into 6 or 8 inches of water. I have to bring him out a water bowl. A squirrel. some food, bring me some crackers or something. The exact state of the case was now as plain to me as if it had been posted on a bulletin board. This boat had been found to be unseaworthy, and its use had been forbidden, all the people having been crowded into the others. This had caused confusion at the last moment, and of course we were supposed to be on one of the other boats. And now here I was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in a leaky boat with two middle-aged women. "Anything the matter with the floor?" asked Miss Lex. I let the section fall back into its place and looked aft, but by the starlight I could see that my two companions had each fixed upon me a steadfast gaze. They evidently felt that something was the matter and wanted to know what it was. I did not hesitate for a moment to inform them. They appeared to me to be women who it would be neither advisable nor possible to deceive in a case like this. "This boat has a leak in it," I said. "There is a lot of water in here already, and that is the reason we have got along so slowly." "And that is why," said Miss Alsheen, "it was left empty. We ought to have known better than to expect to have a whole boat just for the three of us. It would have been much more sensible, I think, if we had tried to squeeze into one of the others." "Now, Barbary Alsheen," said Miss Lex, "don't you begin finding fault with good fortune when it comes to you. Here, we've got a comfortable boat with room enough to set easy and stretch out if we want to. If the water is coming in, what we've got to do is to get it out again just as fast as we can. What's the best way to do that, Mr. Craig?" "We must bail her out and lose no time about it," said I. "If I can find the leak, I may be able to stop it." I now looked about for something to bail with, and the two women aided actively in the search. I found one leather scoop in the bow, but as it was well that we should all go to work, I took two tin cans that had been put in by someone who had begun to provision the boat, and proceeded to cut the tops from them with my jackknife. "Don't lose what's in 'em," said Miss Lex. "That is, if it's anything we'd be likely to want to eat. If it's tomatoes, pour it into the sea, for nobody ought to eat tomatoes put up in tins." I hastily passed the cans to Miss Lex, and I saw her empty the contents of one into the sea, and those of the other on a newspaper, which she took from her pocket and placed in the stern. I pulled up the movable floor and threw it overboard, and then began to bail. "I thought," said Miss Alsheen, "tomatoes and tin cans is a whole other class." Yes, that's right. "I thought," said Miss Alsheen, "that they always had pumps for leaks." "Now, Barbary Alsheen," said Miss Leaks, "just gather yourself up on one of them seats and go to work. The less talking we do and the more scooping, the better it'll be for us." I soon perceived that it would have been difficult to find two more valuable assistants in the bailing of a boat than Miss Lex and Miss Alsheen. They were evidently used to work and were able to accommodate themselves to the unusual circumstances in which they were placed. We threw out the water very rapidly, and every little while I stopped bailing and felt about to see if I could discover where it came in. As these attempts met with no success, I gave them up after a time and set about bailing with new vigor, believing that if we could get the boat nearly dry, I should surely be able to find the leak. But after working half an hour more, I found that the job would be a long one, and if we all worked at once, we should all be tired out at once, and that might be disastrous. Therefore, I proposed that we should take turns in resting, and Miss Alsheen was ordered to stop work for a time. After this, Miss Lex took a rest, and when she went to work, I stopped bailing and began again to search for the leak. For about 2 hours we worked this way, and then I concluded it was useless to continue any longer this vain excursion. With 3 of us bailing, we were able to keep the water at the level we first found it, but with only 2 at work it slightly gained upon us, so that now there was more water in the boat than when we first discovered it. The boat was an iron one, and the leak in it I could neither find nor remedy. It had probably been caused by the wrapping of the metal under the hot sun, an accident which I am told frequently occurs to iron boats. The little craft, which would have been a lifeboat had its air boxes remained intact, was now probably leaking from stem to stern, and in searching for the leak without the protection of the flooring, my weight had doubtless assisted in opening the seams, for it was quite plain that the water was now coming in more rapidly than it did at first. We were very tired, and even Miss Lex, who had all along counseled us to keep at work and not to waste one breath in talking, now admitted that it was of no use for us to try to get the water out of the boat. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, we'll pause there on page 10. Yeah, the battery's getting low and it is kind of hot here right in the sun. Not for me, just for that thing. Yeah, those devices can overheat. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I really hope so. Yeah, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, suggestions as to how we can get the reports or the facts reported on here, that would be great. Yeah, and have your outlets contact my outlets. Sure. All right, thank you. You're welcome.